Oh my goodness, I just
Hello.
killed myself again.
No. Alright, Kevin. I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah,
I'll
you're
talk to you in a little
good. Okay, I love
while.
you.
Love you too, bud.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Harley from the Franplay, and today we're going to be continuing on learning Flexbox. From where we last left off, we were going to read through the basic concepts of Flexbox from the MDN. All sorts of useful stuff, right? Let's go ahead and turn this down a little bit. Too much. There we go. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. I would like to say thank you, everyone, for all the support so far on this amazing journey. And it's so crazy. I went and looked back earlier through all the videos and just seeing how my progress has came a very long way. So it's really cool seeing everything come together from where I started 1 month ago till now on the Odin project. So pretty cool. And that's with working and taking care of a child and having a wife and having a pregnant wife at that and a home and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, we're going to continue on with the basic concepts of Flexbox. So let's continue where we were. Alright, so the basic concepts of Flexbox are going to be the flexible box module, usually referred to as Flexbox, was designed as a one-dimensional layout model and is a method that could offer space distribution between items in an interface and powerful alignment capabilities. This article gives an outline of the main features. This article gives an outline of the main features of Flexbox, which we will be exploring in more detail in the rest of these guides. When we describe Flexbox as being one-dimensional, we are describing the fact that Flexbox deals with the layout in one dimension at a time, either as a row or as a column. This can be contrasted with the two-dimensional model of CSS grid layout, which controls columns and rows together. The two axes of Flexbox. So if you remember from previously, there's two axes. There's the cross and the main, right? So the main goes, I want to say the main, we're going to go to Flexbox. Flexbox, there we go. And, so the main axis is horizontal and the cross axis is vertical, right? So the main axis is defined by the flex direction property, and the cross axis runs perpendicular to it. Everything we do with the Flexbox refers back to these axes, so it is worth understanding how they work from the outset. The main axis. The main axis is defined by flex direction, which has four possible values: row, row reverse, column, and column reverse. You should choose row or row reverse. Your main axis will run along the row in the inline direction. So, row, go in inline direction, left to right. Choose column or column reverse, and your main axis will run from top of the page to the bottom, or in reverse from the bottom to the top. Ooh, ouch, that hurt. It's alright. It's alright. It's still love. It's love in a different way. What do you dislike about it? Please. Please don't hurt me. Alright. There we go. And then the cross axis. The cross axis runs perpendicular to the main axis. Therefore, if your flex direction main axis is set to row or row reverse, the cross axis runs down the columns. But hi, Liam. What's going on, bro? I see you there. I see your little head peeping. Perpendicular to the main axis, therefore your flex direction main axis is set to row or row reverse. The cross axis runs down the column, or the cross axis runs down the column. Finally got mine. Finally, right? I don't know. I think it's because like my channel's small too and everything. I think that's what it is. If your main axis is column or column reverse, then the cross axis runs along in the rows. Gotcha. Cross axis, flex direction column. Start and end inlines. Another vital area of understanding is how Flexbox makes no assumption about the writing model, the writing mode of the document. In the past, CSS was heavily weighted towards horizontal and left to right writing modes. Modern layout methods encompass the range of writing modes, and so we no longer assume that a line of text will start at the top left of a document and run towards the right-hand side, with new lines appearing one under the other. You can read more about the relationship between Flexbox and the writing mode specification in a later article. However, the following description should help explain why we do not talk about left and right and top and bottom when we describe the direction that our flex items flow in. In the flex direction, if the flex direction is row and I am working in English, then the start edge of the main axis will be on the left and the end edge on the right. If I were to work in Arabic, then we would start the edge of my main axis on the right and end on the left. In both cases, the start edge of the cross axis is at the top of the flex container, and the end edge at the bottom. Oh, I forgot about that. Give me one. Oh, no, wait, I need that. There we go. All right. Oh, nothing important. Okay. After a while, thinking about start and end rather than left and right becomes natural. And will be useful when you're dealing with other layout methods such as CSS grid layout, which follow the same patterns. So start and end is the way we think about it, not left, right, yada yada yada. The flex container. An area of the document laid out using Flexbox is called the flex container. To create a flex container, we set the value of the area's container display property. The area container display property of flex or flex inline. As soon as we do this, the direct children of the container become flex items. As with all properties in CSS, some initial values are defined. So when creating a flex container, all of the contained flex items will behave in the following way. Items display in a row. The flex direction property default is row. The items start with from the edge of the main axis. The items do not stretch on the main dimension, but can shrink. The items will stretch to fill the size of the cross axis, and the flex basis property is set to auto, and the flex wrap property is set to no wrap. So as with all CSS properties, some initial values are defined. So when creating a flex container, all the content flex items behave as the following way. Okay, so this is how they will act, and I believe I wrote that down. Oh shoot. Okay, cool. But I believe I wrote that down somewhere. The result of this is that your items will all line up in a row using the size of the content as their size on the main axis. If there are more items than can fit in the container, they will not wrap but will instead overflow. If some items are taller than others, all items will stretch along the cross axis to fill the size full. You can see in the live example below how this looks. Try editing the items or adding additional items in order to test the initial behavior of Flexbox. So we have 1, 2, 3 has extra text, so we make it fit inside. But what if we deleted this? So it'd make it fit to work. Cool. And we can also can add another box, right? Let's add another box in here and call that a div, right? And I'm another box, and we can mess with that, and we can also thank you, Akash. I appreciate that. Ah. So, what if we do... What if we do a div, right? And let's say... Oh. Yeah, that'd be nice if I can do that. Okay. And we'll give it a flex of 1. So we can change some of the values to it, right? And then we can make it fill inside of the box. And then we can also do like so there's that, and then there's 1. So 1 auto, right? I'll make this fit. That's so cool. Okay. Cool. All this information is becoming useful. And then let's say below this, I just want to add something. I hope you have an amazing day, Akash. Thank you for stopping by, buddy. Hope you have an amazing day. Actually, and let's put this in a div and call this, hold on, I want to move this up. Oh no, I can't do that. We'll just cut it, paste it, right? And then we'll call this one class of para, right? And then in here, let's go ahead and call dot para. And in the in the paragraph, let's give it a border of 2 pixels. Right. 2 pixels. What did I put under? Okay, yeah. 2 pixels red. Oh, okay. Solid red. 2 pixels. 5 pixels. Okay. Let's do that. Right? And actually, let's do round. Oh, soft? No. Damn. Okay, so solid. Do that. I forgot what the other border types there were. Okay, anyway, we'll add a little red thing, and then we'll add a background. We'll watch the stream to sleep, man. Don't mind me. Also, really glad that you and everyone in the study group is pushing every day. We're gonna do this. You dang right we're gonna do this. Light red. Or let's do. Is it like this? Oh, no. That's what I can remember. Or let's use wait, no, 39, no. That's not a complete one. That's cool. And Dang. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up more of that, but let's go ahead and reset it. That was fun. Right? We got to mess with that. Kinda got to see. But the main thing I wanted to show was when we add if we do a flex of one. Oh, oops, wrong thing. I meant to add reset that. So we're gonna do a div dot box div there we go. So now we have it flexed, and if we wanted to do that would work, this would work, or what if we did wait, I think it only works like that. Yeah. So anyway, done messing with that. Alright, so changing flex direction, right? So adding the flex direction property to the flex container allows us to change the direction in which our flex items display. Setting flex direction row reverse will keep the items displaying along the row. However, the start and end lines are switched. So instead of starting on the left side, we will start on the right side. If we change flex direction to column, the main axis switches and our items now display in a column from top to bottom. Set the column reverse and start and the end lines are switched again, which will start from bottom to top. The live example below has flex direction set to row reverse. Try the other values, row, column, column reverse, to see what happens to the content. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's change it to row. Okay, displays on the left edge, or the starting edge, let's just say left. We can do column, right, and column reverse. So 1, 2, 3, and then column reverse, 3, 2, 1. So we can switch the way our ordering goes by using reverse. It'll just display it backwards. Well, it starts it from the opposite edge, right? So in this case it would be the bottom for the column reverse. So multi-line flex containers with flex wrap. While Flexbox is a one-dimensional model, it is possible to cause our flex items to wrap onto multiple lines. In doing so, you should consider each line as a new flex container. Any space distribution will happen across that line, without reference to the lines on either side. To cause wrapping, oh, look what the heck's going on. Oh, I just saw that, Akash. Thank you. Oh, nice, 79% done. Awesome job, bro. Awesome job. That is really awesome. Very proud. I'm 56, I think. We're getting there, man. Okay, so, sorry. While Flexbox is a one-dimensional model, it is possible to cause our flex items to wrap onto multiple lines. Doing so, you should consider each line as a new flex container. Any space distribution will happen across that line without reference to the lines on the other side. To cause wrapping behavior, add the property flex wrap with a value of wrap. Now, your items, oh, it's Ipers. What's going on, man? Hola. Now, should your items be too large to display it in one line, they will wrap onto another line. The live sample below contains items that have been given a width. The total width of the items being too wide for the flex container as flex wrap is set to wrap the items wrap set it to no wrap, which is also the initial value, and they will instead shrink to fit the container because they are using initial Flexbox values that allow the items to shrink. Using no wrap would cause an overflow of the items where if the items were not able to shrink or could not shrink small enough to fit. Excuse me. I appreciate the stop bys. Yeah, thank you guys. 100%. Okay, so let's go ahead and mess with this, right? So flex wrap, we'll wrap it and start on a new line, but no wrap, we'll keep it all together. And then depending on if we can shrink, oh, wrong one, if we can shrink it or not. So then it overflows, so we see there. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go back. Oh, push this back up. Oh no, it didn't. We went too far down. Okay, so find out more about wrapping flex items in the guide, mastering flip. Okay, we're not going to read through all of that. What part are you on? I am on the alignment piece in Foundations. I think that's in the Flexbox section. Yes, I'm almost done with Flexbox. So I'm gonna finish alignment, and then I can start on the landing page. Hold on, let me turn down the music just a little hair. Excuse me. Yeah, and then I can start on the on JavaScript, which I'm actually really excited to get into. But first, I rather verse myself pretty well in CSS. So before I even go into JavaScript, I'm hoping I can get done with the landing page today, and then I want to redo the Odin project, or the Odin recipes project, because I kind of have a better idea of what I want to do. Oh yeah, about it. Yeah, the fun part's coming, man. I already know it. But I want to at least get down HTML and CSS. Flexbox, I remember having trouble understanding this stuff. Now I'm crying in JavaScript. Well, thanks. It's alright though. It'll get better. Your understanding will grow as you grow. So we can only. Okay, no, come on. You're gonna make me cry. Excuse me. No, but I'm sure we'll get through this. I feel like oh no, JavaScript is pretty difficult. When I was doing the Coder Bootcamp, yeah, JavaScript was pretty tough. I won't lie, but it's so cool how it works and like how you pull APIs and oh man, I'm excited. I want to get through this already, or at least this portion, and then get my understanding by doing the next project and then redoing my recipe project. No, you're not. No, you're not. I mean, I'm not getting distracted. But it's good to talk sometimes, you know? Okay, so the flex flow shorthand, right? You can combine the two properties flex direction and flex wrap into the flex flow shorthand. The first value specified is flex direction, and the second value is flex wrap. So, and I took that in my notes. I think in the Flexbox Froggy, I did that and took notes on everything from align content, flex flow, flex wrap, align self, order. I didn't quite understand order, but I got my notes there. The first value specified. Okay, yeah, we did that. In the live example below, try changing the first value to one of the allowable values for flex direction: row, reverse, column, reverse, and also change the second to wrap and no wrap. So we have it to row wrap. Let's do column wrap. And there we go. It'll wrap in a column, but that shouldn't matter even if we had a no wrap. The column's not going to change anything. I know. Thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate everybody. Such a wonderful moment. Let's do row reverse. Oh, forgot the hyphen. Row reverse, no wrap. And no? Okay. See, I always had trouble doing the row reverse. Because it should go... Oh, no, it is. Psh, I didn't even see it. I don't even know what I was thinking. Okay, so the row, no wrap, and row, and then no wrap. Row, wrap. So we can kind of see how it goes. But we've been doing that the whole way through documenting all of this. So properties applied to flex items. To have more control over flex items, we can target them directly. We do this by way of 3 properties: flex grow, flex shrink, and flex basis. Alright, so we will take a brief look at these properties in this overview, and you can gain a fuller understanding in this guide. But we kind of went over flex grow, flex shrink, and flex basis, and that is when we use the flex one. Where was it at? We can do it on this one. Oh yeah, so we can make this look a little bit cleaner, right? Send it this way a little bit, and like that, and okay, so when we added that flex 1, so this is flex grow, this is flex shrink, and this is flex basis. We can also change it to auto, but that's what those are. So let's see here. Before we make sense of these properties, we need to consider the concept of available space. What we are doing when we change the values of these flex properties is to change the way that available space is distributed amongst our items. This concept of available spaces is also important. Hi.
I want the fire thing.
You want a what?
I want the fire thing.
Are you still asleep there? Oh yeah. What we are doing when we change the value of these flex properties is to change the way that available space is distributed amongst our items. The concept of available space is also important when we come to look at our aligning items. If we have 3 100 pixel wide items in a container which is 500 pixels wide, then the space we need to lay out our items is 300 pixels. This leaves us 200 pixels of space available. If we don't change the initial values, then Flexbox will put that space after the last item. So if we don't change the initial values... What, baby?
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna get the remotes? Okay, go take them to mommy. Alright. Oh. Okay. So, anyway, what it's saying is, without giving our items flex specification, like giving it its properties of flex grow, flex shrink, or basis, or the values for those, it's not going to fit inside of the container that we want it to. We would have to specify to each of these is that we want each of these to be 175 pixels, I believe, just to try it out, right? 500 divided by 3, I think it should be 175. Oh, 166. So you'd have to make the pixels match, right? If you want it to fit the space without flex. But fortunately, we have an item called our property of flex, so we can change that and make it fill the available space that we have. So if we said would like the items to grow and fill the space, then we need to have a method of distributing the leftover space between the items. This is what the flex properties that we apply to the items themselves will do. The flex basis property. The flex basis is what defines the size of the item in terms of the space it leaves as available space. The initial value of this property is... the initial value of this property is auto. In this case, the browser looks to see if the items have a size. In this example above, all of the items have a width of 100 pixels, and so this is used as a flex basis. If the items don't have a size, then the content size is used as a flex basis. This is why when we just declare display flex on the parent to create flex items, the items all move into a row and take only as much space as they need to display their content. The flex grow property. With the flex grow property set to a positive integer, flex items can grow along the main axis from their flex basis. This will cause the item to stretch and make up any available space on that axis, or a proportion of the available space if other items are allowed to grow too. If we gave all of our items in the example above a flex grow value of 1, then the available space in the flex container would be equally shared between our items and they would stretch to fill the container on the axis. The flex grow property can be used to distribute space in proportion. If we give our first item a flex grow value of 2 and the other items a value of 1 each, 2 parts of the available space will be given to the first item. So 2 parts. Okay, gotcha. Will be given to the first item, 100 pixels out of 200 pixels in this case of the example above. 1 part each. 1 part each the other 2. 50 pixels out of the 200 pixels total. And I want to see that. So let's go back to this, this example. So what if we gave it a flex of, 2 and 0. I'm trying to see what the difference is here. Yeah, a little human in the background. Where's she at? That's her playing over there. She's what? Oh, she's playing with the Gatorades. Yeah, she's being silly. So, let's see. What if we change this one to 2? No, this one to... Okay. I'm trying to understand that. I might have to reread that one more time. Okay. Let's see here. The flex basis property. Right? The flex basis property is what defines the size of the item in terms of the space it leaves as available space. The initial value of this property is auto. In this case, the browser looks to see if the items have a size. In this example above, all the items have a width of 100 pixels, and so this is used as a flex basis. Okay. If the items don't have a size, then the content size is used as a flex basis. This is why when we just declare display flex on the parent, okay, and it displays in a row. Gotcha. Okay, I got that. So, the flex grow property. With flex grow property is set to positive integer. Flex items can grow along the main axis from their flex basis. This will cause the item to stretch and take up any available space on that axis, or a proportion of the available space if other items are allowed to grow too. If we gave all of our items in the example above a flex grow value of 1, then the available space in the flex container would be equally shared between our items, and they would stretch to fill the container on the main axis. Excuse me. The flex grow property can be used to distribute space in proportion. If we give our first item a flex grow value of 2, and the other items a value of 1 each, 2 parts of the available space will be given to the first item. In this case, so 100 pixels out of 200 pixels. So the first one will get an additional 100 pixels. And then these two will get an additional 50. So when I go up here and I do that and change that to 2, what happens? Oh, and give this one a 1. I still don't. maybe... Okay, hold on. We'll just do 2.
I found a blue water.
Okay, well, maybe I'm just not quite understanding that. Where was it at? Flux grow? Or maybe in that example, this is just not going to be able to show me exactly, but from what I'm understanding is that the first item will be given 100 pixels out of the 200 that's left over, and the other ones will be given 50 pixels each, the 100 remainder. Okay, so the flex shrink property. Okay, so the flex shrink property, where the flex grow property deals with adding space in the main axis, the flex shrink property controls how it is taken away. If we do not have enough space in the container to lay out our items, and flex shrink is set to a positive integer, then the items can become smaller than the flex spaces. As with flex grow, different values can be assigned in order to cause one item to shrink faster than others. An item with the higher value is set to... One second. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Omkar. Going at a... Okay, I read it, but I'm gonna reread it one more time. Bro, you're going at a fast pace. Nothing bad, just saying you are Superman. You a Superman. Shoo. Nah, I honestly, this is a whole month's worth, and I'm this far. But, it'll get better. I'll be going farther and farther every day. Okay, so we were on... So, flex shrink will adjust how far it can shrink. Yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't call this fast. But it's... I'm going at a decent pace. Or trying to, at least. You did? No! I read through everything. Mainly because when I was doing the coding bootcamp that was paid... they didn't give they didn't give resources like this how they do in here, where you got all these reading assignments. It was just like, here's an assignment from our website, and no documentation with it, you know? Or what they and oh yeah, I remember when I got to the JavaScript section, they just did a data dump. They didn't even like, how do I put it? It was just like, oh, here's all these documentation, here's MDN, go read everything on JavaScript. But it's like, you want me to finish in so little amount of time, how am I supposed to, you know? But this is great. I like all the documentation. It's really cool. Like this, I mean, there's just so much. I even did Flexbox Froggy. Sorry. Properties control how it is taken away. We do not have enough space in the container to lay out our items. And flex shrink is set to a positive integer. Then the item can become smaller than the flex basis. As with flex grow, different values can be assigned in order to cause one item to shrink faster than others. An item with a higher value set for flex shrink will shrink faster than its siblings that have a lower value. The minimum size of the item will be taken into account while working out the actual amount of shrinkage that will happen, which means that flex shrink has the potential to appear less consistent than flex grow in behavior. We'll therefore take a more detailed look at how the algorithm works in this article, controlling ratios of items along the main axis. In the note, these values of flex grow and flex shrink are proportions. Typically, if we had all of our items set to flex 200 pixels and wanted one item to grow at twice the rate, we would set that item to be flex 200 pixels. However, you could also use flex 200 pixels and flex 200 pixels if you wanted to. So you can use higher values. See, that's what I was wondering earlier when I originally had gone through flex, grow, shrink, and basis. Maybe you can, like, the way they put the values for them. So shorthand values for the flex properties. You will very rarely see the flex, grow, shrink, and basis properties used individually. Instead, they are combined into flex shorthand. The flex shorthand allows you to set three values in this order: flex, grow, shrink, basis. The live example below. Oh my, are you okay? You okay? Did that scare you? What happened? You alright? You wanna give me a high five?
Oh no, my juicy juice.
Okay, put it right here. You wanna hold it? Okay. Yes, sir. Oh, I didn't even check my snap, bro. Oh, shit. Yeah, dude, I love that one, man. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, and the Charlie Brown one, too. I really like the... Damn, I keep trying to remember what that movie is. Oh, distracted. Oops. So, in the live example below, you test out different values of the flex. Oh, god damn it. Of the flex shorthand. Remember that the first value is flex grow. Given the positive value means they can grow. The second, what the hell? Oh, the second is flex shrink. The positive values can just shrink, but only if the total values overflow the main axis. And the final value is flex basis. This is the value the items are using as their base value to grow. So we have these set. So if we set this one to flex 2, oh, this is how it works. 0 and 10. That is so cool. So this one is twice as big as this one. This one is 10 times as big as this one, I think. So, and then what about shrinkage? And we'll go like this. Oh, I really don't like that it's been doing that to me. But shrinking it as far as I can. Well, maybe I can't do it like this, but go ahead and reset it, right? Oh, see, I went too far again. So let's, one more time, let's take a look so we can change the how big the size is inside of here. We can change this one to 7, this one to 2, this one to 25 pixels, right? Or let's say 200 pixels, something like that, right? Just mess with it. But that's how you can change the grow, shrink, and basis. There are also some predefined shorthand values which cover most of the use cases. You will often see these used in tutorials, and in many cases these are all you will need to use. The predefined values are as follows: flex initial, flex auto, flex none, and flex positive, some positive number. Setting flex initial resets the item to the initial value of Flexbox. This is the same as flex 0, 1 auto. In this case, the value of flex grow is 0, so items will not grow larger than their flexible or their flex basis size. The value of flex shrink is 1, so items can shrink if they need to rather than overflowing. The value of flex basis is auto. Items will either use any size set on the item in the main dimension, or they will get their size from the content size. And then using flex auto is the same as using flex 1, 1 auto. Everything is as with flex initial, but in this case items can grow and fill the container as well as shrink if required. And then using flex none will create a fully inflexible flex item. It is as if you wrote flex 0, 0 auto. The items cannot grow or shrink, but will be laid out using Flexbox with the flex basis of auto. The shorthand you often see in tutorials is flex 1 or flex 2, and so on. This is as if you use flex 110 or flex 210, and so on, respectively. The items can grow and shrink from a flex basis of 0. Try these shorthand values in the example below. So let's do item 1 will have none. Item 2 will be auto. And item 3, let's do initial.
Cake.
Right? What?
What's that?
What are you doing? Give me a high five.
That?
I want a high five.
What's that?
This or this? These are earrings. Alright, so let's continue on. Give me a high five. Alright.
What's that?
You want to play with the Rubik's Cube?
The Rubik's Cube?
Yeah, the Rubik's Cube. Alignment, justification, and distribution of free space between items. Daddy doesn't know the algorithms how to fix this yet. Daddy's trying to figure out this.
What's this?
It's called a Rubik's Cube. Okay, so a key feature of Flexbox is the ability to align and justify items on the main and cross axis, and to distribute space between flex items. Note that these proportions are to be set on the flex container not on the items themselves. So you do it on the flex container. So that would be, in this case, the flex container is going to be the main div, right? And that's where we're gonna put our alignment, justification, distribution, all that good stuff. That's gonna go in our main container that we want our items to organize in, right? Because all of these are just a way to organize our items across, up and down, however we want to put it. Center it, all that kind of stuff.
I want to see it.
So, A key feature of Flexbox is the ability to align and justify items on the main and cross-axis. We just read that. Note that these properties are to be set on the Flex container, not on the items themselves. So align items. The align items property will align the items on the cross-axis. The initial value for this property is stretch, and this is why Flex items stretch to the height of the Flex container by default. This might be dictated by the height of the tallest item in the container, or by the size set on the Flex container itself. You can instead set align items to Flex start in order to make the items line up at the start of the Flex container. Flex end to align them to the end, or center to align them in the center. Try this in the live example. I have given the Flex container a height in order that you can see how the items can be moved around inside the container. See what happens if you set the value of align items to. Okay, so here we go. So we can use stretch, Flex start, Flex end, Flex center. So we're gonna do stretch, right? And that's, I believe it's default. And then we can do center, right? And it's gonna center along the vertical, right? And then we can do Flex start, and it'll align us at the start. And then Flex end will align us on the end. And if I go here, oh, I'm at the top already. Align items. So, and align items. Where did I write that good stuff at? Dang it. Oh, I might have written it somewhere else. Ah, here we go. Alignment. There we go. So align items go on the cross axis, which is vertical. Yes. Okay. And I put in my notes, like I put little stars here. It's hard to see, maybe for some of you. What? No, these are daddies. Don't touch those. No, I'm sorry. Those are daddies. Yeah, but I don't know if you see here in my notes, I put an asterisk by... No, give me these. These are daddies. You got this one. Here, take this one. Go show mommy. Go show mommy. Say, mommy, I love you. Okay, so the align items go on the cross axis, which is the vertical axis, right? And justify content's going to go on the horizontal, or the main axis. Okay. So anyway, so this goes vertically, so we can start it at the top or the bottom by using Flex start or end. We can also do it in the center, and we can do stretch, which is its default value, which will just stretch it inside of the box, right? That's pretty explanatory. And then justify content property is used to align the items on the main axis, the direction in which Flex direction has set the flow. The initial value is Flex start, which will line the items up at the start edge of the container. But you could also set the value to Flex end to line them up at the end, or center to line them up in, or center to line them up in the center. Okay, yeah. You can also use the value space between to take all the spare space after the items have been laid out and share it out evenly between the items, so there will be an equal amount of space between each item. To cause an equal amount of space on the right and left of each item, use the value space around. With space around, items have a half size space on either end. Or to cause items to have equal space around them, use the value space evenly. With space evenly, items have a full size space on either end. Oh, so you can use space evenly. I didn't see that one. So here we can, let's do space between, right? Just to kind of, where are you going?
Trying to make myself feel better.
Oh my god. If you guys could see this, my daughter set all the Gatorades up in a line, blocking going towards the front door. Okay, so this would be space between, right? And if you notice that on the edge here, these the two items on the outside edge, they each go to the end. And that's because there's space between. And then if we put space around, oh, what am I doing? Space around would add space around each element, or I mean each item. And then we can also do space evenly, which I haven't seen yet. Okay, and that spaces it evenly. Okay, I can see that. So if we do space around one more time, if you notice that the space between is bigger than the ones outside, and if we do evenly, again, all the spaces are even between each item, including the edge. In the article Aligning Items in Flexbox in a Flex container, we will explore these properties in more depth in order to have a better understanding of how they work. So I believe we're done here. Cool. That was actually a really good refresher because I didn't get to work on anything yesterday. And so aligning items in a Flex container goes into more depth on the topic of access and align items versus justify content. I'm like, should I continue reading through all this? Yes. As much as I don't want to. I know it's... Oh my god. Another long one. Oh my god. Make it stop. Please. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Okay, so aligning items in a Flex container. My god. I'm sorry for this. This is gonna... I'm trying to get as much stuff in as possible, but... Okay, so aligning items in a Flex container. One of the reasons that Flexbox quickly caught the interest of the web developers is that it brought a proper alignment capabilities to the web for the first time. It enabled proper vertical alignment so we can at last easily center our box. In this guide, we will take a thorough look at how the alignment and justification properties work in Flexbox. To center our box, we use the align items property to align our items in the cross axis, which in this case is the block axis running vertically. We use justify content to align the item on the main axis, the horizontal axis, which in this case is the inline axis running horizontally. Right? So justify content, align items. Alright, you can take a look at the code of this example below. Change the size of the container or nested elements, and the nested elements always remain center. So you can take a look at the code in this example and change the size. Okay, gotcha. So in this example, they have align items center. So we're aligning here center, and we're justifying the content to be center as well horizontally. So that would put us center and center, which will put us directly in the center. Right? And then if we wanted to, we can align no. Oop. So yeah, we can align flex start and flex start. Or have this one center and this one let's say flex end and flex end. So there we go. That's how we can manipulate where we want it to go. Oh, properties that control alignment. The properties we will look at in this guide are as follows. Justify content controls the alignment of all items on the main axis, horizontal axis. Align items control alignment of all items on the cross axis, or the vertical axis. And when then we add a reverse property, it would reverse it and make it go along the flex direction would make it go in a different direction. So item align items controls alignment of all items on the cross axis. Align self controls alignment of an individual flex item on the cross axis. Align content described in the spec as for packing flex lines controls the space between flex lines on the cross axis. Gap, column gap, and row gap used to create gaps or gutters between flex items. We will also discover how auto margins can be used for alignment in Flexbox. So let's go ahead and let's see. So there's align items, value items across align self. I don't think I have that one here. Nope. Okay, so that's gonna have to be a new note. Excuse me. So align items, sorry, align self. Let's see. Controls alignment of an individual flex item on the cross axis. Okay. Oh my. We will align content. Oh yeah, well, let's add that one too to our notes. Align content. Described in the spec as for packing flex lines. Controls space between flex lines. The cross axis. Okay, so the cross axis. The align items and align self properties control alignment of our flex items on the cross axis, the vertical. Down the columns if flex direction is row, and along the row if flex direction is column. Down the columns if flex direction is row, and along the row if flex direction is column. Gotcha. So they just reverse. Or they switch roles, it seems like. Oh, stretch time. Okay. That was needed. Much needed stretch. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, control alignment of flex items on the cross axis, down the columns if flex direction is row, and along the row if the flex direction is column. We're making use of the cross axis alignment in the most simple flex example. If we add display flex to a container, the child items all become flex items arranged in a row. They will all stretch to be as tall as the tallest item, as that item is defining the height of the item on the cross axis. If your flex container has a height set, then the items will stretch to that height, regardless of how much content is in the item. So it's set to 200 pixels, and this is based off of the item. The reason the items become the same height as the initial value of align items, the property that controls alignment on the cross axis is set to stretch. We can use other values to control how the how the items align. So we can use align items flex start, flex in. Okay, so we went over all of that before. In the slide example below, the value of align items is stretched. Try the other values and see how all of them align against the flex container. So we'll do baseline first. Ooh, okay, so we'll do. Let's do so there we go. Just to like mess with that a little bit. Aligning one item with the line self. We can mess with the other ones too, sorry. And we can do flex start, flex end, center. What else do they got? Stretch and baseline. Yeah. Stretch is default. Wait, stretch, and then baseline. And then we can remove this one. And that's really cool. So aligning one item with the line self. All the align items properly sets the align self property on all of the flex items as a group. This means you can explicitly declare the align self property to target a single item. The align self property accepts all the same values as align items plus the value of auto, which will reset the value to that which is defined in the flex container. In this next live example, the container has line items flex start, which means the items are all aligned to the start of the cross axis, vertical axis. I have targeted the first item using a first child selector and set the item to align self stretch. Another item has been selected using the class of selected and given align self centered. You can change the value of aligned items or change the values of aligned self on the individual items to see how this works. So box first child, box selected, and I'm assuming, yeah, so we have one that's called selected. And so we can do align items, center, and first child we're going to align self flex start. Box we're going to do flex end, and then yeah, cool. And then we can also do like add another box, right? So let's just copy this. And one more for good luck, right? Uh-huh. We can do box. And we'll do align self. Flex start. And we can call this one 5, 6. Oh. Call this a class of equals fire, and this one's gonna be called heart, right? So we can do dot box dot fire and then we can copy this.
I love being a vegetable.
Yeah.
I love being.
You love
The
it?
baby's silly.
The baby's silly. Wow.
You want to pick a duck.
And we'll call this one heart. And we'll.
Pick a duck.
You're gonna put the duck. All right.
Mommy.
Align self.
Mommy.
This one will do flex start.
He's finding mommy. Ooh, mommy.
right? Oh no.
And
Whoops.
her mommy. Look at
Center
her.
actually.
Her
And
mommy's so
oh,
beautiful.
she is so beautiful. Hi. Come here, baby. Mwah. Are we gonna go play? Mm-hmm. We're gonna go play, and we're gonna go run. Whoa, whoa, whoa! I'm running. You're running so fast. Okay, so oh yeah, and I wanted to do. What's that?
What's that, Mom?
I don't know. Okay, and we're not gonna. Oh yeah, actually, that's what I wanted. That is what I wanted. So I wanted it to look like this. Go like that. So. Oh my goodness. So now that we've messed with that, we kind of got an idea.
Some shoes.
Baby wants some shoes. I don't know where the shoes are, baby.
He wants some bigger shoes.
You're gonna have to find some.
E?
Yeah, go look in your toy box. Maybe your shoes are in there. Changing the main axis. So far, we have looked at the behavior when our flex direction is row. And while working in a language written top to bottom, this means that the main axis runs along the row horizontally. Sorry. Runs along the row horizontally, and our cross alignment moves the items up and down.
Look!
What?
Look!
I'm looking.
Mommy!
Oh my goodness,
Your
Jaylee.
baby!
Oh my goodness.
Your baby!
Okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna leave the boring parts, and I'm gonna spend a little bit of time with my daughter real quick.
Baby.
We're gonna go play Barbies. So,
Come on.
I'll be streaming again probably here in a little while. I'm gonna try to get at least maybe 3 streams done today to make some progress and get to the last project on Flexbox. And then my final stream for the night, I'm going to recreate the Odin recipes. I have an idea. I want to make a recipe page for. Hold on. Oh my goodness. I want to create a recipe page for The Witcher. Either The Witcher or I'm not too sure. I was thinking The Witcher kind of like for his mutagens, how he puts them together, which ones you need, kind of thing. But I don't know. We'll see. We might stick with the same stuff that we have, but just make it better and put divs instead of how we have our content made in there right now. So, because it definitely needs some work, and adding Flexbox to it will make it so much better. But anyways, I appreciate all of your time and staying here and supporting me. I hope every single one of you has an amazing day. Again, thank you. Thank you so much for your support and helping me stay motivated. I appreciate all of you. Have an amazing day. Stay blessed. And I'll see you next time.